Sleeves here with the Senior Pickleball Report, powered by TNC Network. Let's get it going. Today we're talking with Taylor of the Austin Ignite from the National Pickleball League, and she is a player who is doing great things outside of just playing pickleball. She is part of an organization called Pickle Mania, and we'll get to that in the interview. But before we do, consider subscribing to this channel. Check out our newsletter. All the links in the description for paddles from Just Paddles, Pickle, PCKL, and also Fitville Shoes. And again, check out that newsletter. Consider subscribing to us. Hit that like button. Give us a comment as well. Tell us how we're doing. All right, folks, on to that conversation with Taylor. But right before we do, hey, check out thrivepb.com. They are putting out a paddle that is going to revolutionize how swing weight is used in paddles. So go to thrivepb.com and sign up for their updates. All right, let's get to that conversation with Taylor. Hey, Taylor from the Austin Ignites, from the newly formed National Pickleball League, and a big part of Pickle Mania, which we will talk about in a little bit. Welcome to the Senior Pickleball Report, Taylor.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mike. This is great. I'm excited.
Excellent. Yeah, really cool. I got a chance to meet you in Kansas City. I was driving through and I got to see my first in-person National Pickleball League event, and we chatted a little bit and we finally got you on the show.
Yes. Crazy.
So let's talk about your journey, because obviously you're on a team now that is in first place, and we'll get to that. And you've got some other things that are going in your life, Pickle Mania being one of them. But how did you get involved in pickleball? I know you have a tennis background. Mm-hmm. So how did pickleball come into your world?
So, I mean, you hear so many life-changing stories about people in pickleball, and I feel like I definitely am one of those. So I was a tennis player growing up from age 10 on. I played at the University of Virginia. And then when I came back to Memphis, which is where I live, and that's home, I started graduate school to get a master's in clinical social work. And while I was going to school, one of my friends at a local private club here in Memphis asked me if I wanted to come help out with their junior tennis program in the afternoons after I finished with school. Yeah. And so, I woke up 20 years later and I was still a tennis pro, and I loved it. I had a great experience as a pro. I felt like I did a lot of, counseling on the tennis court. So I was using my degree on some level, and, just tennis. I was on a USTA team that won a national championship at Indian Wells in 2015.
Wow.
Then on a mixed team that won a national championship in 2015, I was like, okay, I'm going to retire now. But I didn't. But I had a couple of knee surgeries in 2016 and one in 2018 2017, and I was told never play tennis again. And so I was out. Right. I mean, I'd played every day of my life from age 10, and it opened so many doors for me, and it just been. It was my social outlet. It was my therapeutic outlet, everything. So I kind of was a little bit like, what is my life going to look like? And literally probably a week after I was told this, a guy came by my office at the club where I was working, and I was sort of transitioning into working on the business side of the club, but I was still teaching and playing some. And he said, I got to teach you how to play this game called pickleball. And I looked at him like, you are crazy. I am not doing that. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that means. I'm a great tennis player. I'm not playing something called pickleball, and I was that person. I was that. And I've certainly run into a lot of those since. Long and the short, he drugged me down to the tennis court. He cinched up the net. He handed me a paddle and a ball, and I was hooked. And so, and it didn't hurt my knee.
Yeah, that's a big thing. No pain.
I didn't have any pain. So because I'd already begun to kind of think about how I wanted, if I was going to have to reinvent myself, what it was going to look like, I decided that I wanted to know if pickleball was for real. So in April of the next year, I just marched myself down to Naples to play in the US Open. Like, I know what I'm doing. I don't know anything, but I'm like, if I need to know if this is for real.
Yeah.
Got down there and I had played tennis at the East Naples Community Park.
Sure.
And it was almost all pickleball courts. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I came home saying, okay, this is for real. And I really want to be a part of this. A full mindset change from not wanting to even learn how to play to wanting to be all in. So nobody really in my community knew much about pickleball. So I started a program for the club where I was working, and then that grew into starting a pickleball club that was a virtual thing, and we paid rent to the tennis club for use of the that we worked really hard to get. We started off with taped lines. I feel like I've been through every stage of the process. So if anybody has any questions about going from tape to paint, I'm your girl. But we did that, and we put in the time. And anyway, we started a club, and then I loved it so much, but I felt like I wanted to do more. So that was the onset of the conversation that led to the start of Pickle Mania.
Okay, right on. So obviously, transitioning for some people, whether it's another sport or tennis, there are obstacles to overcome. It's not tennis on many levels, especially if you're playing doubles. So
right.
I guess real quick, what was your biggest obstacle or habit you had to break, or whatever it was, to learn from becoming a top tier tennis player to now becoming a pickleball professional as well? What was the biggest leap for you to take to change?
Such a great question. So fortunately, early on, I was encouraged to, and obviously wanted to become a certified instructor.
Right.
Because I didn't really, I'd been teaching tennis forever. Right. But I knew on some level that it really wasn't tennis on a small court, but I know how to articulate that. So I became PPR certified, and then soon after that, I came on board with them as a clinician to teach people how to teach pickleball. And so some of the biggest aha moments happened for me when I was going through that process. And I still, to this day, when I teach workshops and teach people how to teach, I see those light bulbs going off, just like they did for me. When you have to buy in, you have to be willing to know that this is not tennis. So one of the biggest things for me was return to serve. Like I wanted to stand on the baseline, in my ready position, and I wanted to step back with my millennial forehand swing, and I wanted to hit this gorgeous shot. And then I was like, okay, now what? How do I get up there? Right.
Yeah. So, I just ripped it back.
I was going the wrong direction. And it was impacting how successful I was in pickleball in a big way. So, I figured, I learned those things really through becoming an instructor, and it changed my game, and then teaching it and reinforcing it, and then recognizing the big differences. So I had to go to all the people that I had taught tennis to and say, sorry, but now you're going to have to undo all those things I taught you. Like, you can't just attack a ball in the middle of the court necessarily, or you don't step and punch on your volleys, these and they all laughed. And fortunately we're good sports about, double dipping now and paying me to teach them how to play this other really fun game. But they all, and the biggest thing I missed about tennis, one of the biggest things was I missed my friends.
Sure.
Making all these new pickleball friends. And then now all my tennis friends are also playing pickleball. So that's pretty fun. Now we're all over 50 and, so, undoing the tennis is a challenge.
Sure.
But it was such a good, fun, inspirational challenge to play this game of chess. I became very much more patient. I feel like more disciplined. My tennis got better. People that tell me that it hurts their tennis, I kind of have to, I don't know. It helped my tennis.
Yeah.
So, and now I don't play tennis at all anymore, but because there just isn't time. But pickleball has taught me some really valuable life lessons as a 8-year-old at the time. That translated really well into my real life and into my career.
Right. And that's a great transition, because obviously life lessons seems to be what Pickle Mania is about. New paddle company, Pickle, PCKL, great paddle line, great price points. anything you want, from starter paddle to intermediate to a Pro Series high level paddle. Check them out. Get 15% off using my discount code. Pickle. It's the future.
Are you looking to stay up to date on the latest pickleball news and tips? Look no further than the Sleeves Senior Pickleball Report newsletter. Get the scoop on the sport, learn how to stay healthy while playing, and find out about upcoming tournaments. Subscribe now to get all the pickleball info you need.
That's right.
So talk to us about how that developed in your role. Obviously, you become a coach, you start playing, you're eventually professional. Tell us about what Pickle Mania is and the impact that you would like it to have on the world.
So Pickle Mania grew originally out of my thesis. I mentioned that I went to graduate school to get a degree in clinical social work. And my thesis was called The Ground Strokes of Life. And it was for tennis. I'd written this and so I started thinking about how easy it is to learn pickleball. Definitely challenging to master pickleball, right? But right. Easy to learn. It doesn't take up very much space, doesn't require a lot of space, isn't super expensive, but isn't necessarily available to everyone. Right. And I was fortunate enough to have had this guardian angel come to me and teach me how to play. And I really wanted to figure out a way to share that joy and that the interaction and the socialization and the communing that takes place around pickleball was really fascinating to me, along with the intergenerational piece. Like I knew I wasn't playing tennis with, people that were my mom's age, but I was playing pickleball with people that were my mom's age, and they were kicking my butt. Right.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting to me. So I decided to rework the concept a little bit and created a curriculum that is a social emotional learning curriculum that we based off of adverse childhood experiences research. So there's a lot of information out there about ACEs, and sort of this. It was important to me that we sort of normalize that everybody has adverse childhood experiences. Right. No matter who you are, but there's a way to sort of universalize that and help with some of the shame and some of the like defeatedness that maybe goes hand in hand with that. So I wrote the curriculum, and every letter of the word pickleball represents a life lesson or a character trait that I thought might be meaningful. So right. So an example is C in the first semester. So we have 4 semesters of curriculum that we've written. And the first C is communication. And so what does that mean? Well, serve and return communication is a thing in a therapeutic setting. And so we took that and we made it applicable to pickleball, right? So I serve you the ball, you return it to me. I serve you a question. How are you, Mike? You don't turn around and walk away. You return an answer. And then we have a conversation, and now we're connecting and we're bonding and we're becoming friends and learning about each other, and we're getting outside of our own stuff. Well, that's what we do on the pickleball court. I serve it to you and you return it to me. And the next thing I know, I've been doing that for 3 hours and I haven't had a chance to think about what is going on with my family there was this dual purpose. One was to expose people that might not otherwise be exposed to pickleball, but also help them, whether they're adults or children or both. My favorite is adult child classes because they can do it together, right? That's what we think about pickleball. So it's been, it was just a really, I had to convince a lot of people that there were some looking at me. I had 3 heads because nobody knew even what pickleball was, much less thought I was going to go, make a difference in my community with this thing that didn't at the time exist to the point that it does today, obviously. It didn't exist, but we in my part of the country and a lot of other parts in the middle of the country, at least, didn't know a lot about it. So
it wasn't in our consciousness yet. You're right.
It took some convincing for sure. And I was lucky enough to receive a grant to get it started. And then, we started the organization officially in 2019.
Okay.
And we teach this curriculum anywhere and everywhere we can, but
Sure.
we're in a lot of, we do some work in charter schools.
Mhm.
We do some work with adults that are in job training. We would love to do work eventually with, veterans or,
Yeah.
we've had some substance abuse groups reach out to us about doing some work with the people that are in transitional housing.
Right.
We have a lot of, this can impact in a positive way, I think, anyone. And that's how I feel about the whole conversation, is that hopefully something we say resonates with someone. So we can do a 6-week class, which is pickle with purpose, or we can do a 10-week class, which is pickleball with purpose. And each one of those letters represents something valuable. Maybe it's impulse control for I, or kindness for A. And it's just been remarkable. And I cannot tell you how lucky and grateful I am to have been given the opportunity to even have the vision, but to been put in the position to work in a field that in a job that I love so much. But then also when I go and compete, it's a great way for me to generate awareness. I mean, ultimately we would like for there to be chapters of Pickle Mania all over the country. I mean, we have a train the trainer program. We can go into a community. We can teach people how to teach our program, and then whatever resources we can contribute, whether it's equipment or financial support, we would take whatever we get from that program and put it back into their community.
Right.
So we would like to build ports in the neighborhoods that we teach in. We go into neighborhoods, we teach these people how to play, and then we kind of leave. And it's like, so that's a big mission right now, is following up, now that we actually have programming out there, to follow up with those programs and then drive some of the fundraising toward providing a real location for them to continue to play and teach others in the community. They could teach others just how to play. They can teach others those life lessons. It's not, it's simple, and it's logical, and it's fun to learn a lesson and a skill.
Right. What a great tool. I mean, this game is exploding worldwide at this point, and because people always talk, can pickleball save the world type thing? I've seen these articles and stuff like that. And it is remarkable that when we do play pickleball, we come from different backgrounds, different experiences, different ideologies, and it doesn't seem to matter when we're on the court. And then to take something like that and be able to mold it and put it into people's lives in a way that's just beyond the game itself, and using it as a modeling, so to speak. For life lessons and movement and getting out of a desk if you're in a classroom. And for us visual learners, a huge advancement of having a game teach us some life lessons of, just how to communicate, like you mentioned earlier. Really cool. I mean, you should be super, super proud. And I love that you're going out there, and because I think that's the biggest thing is, I was a high school teacher. And then we would do some work that was extracurricular, where we try to break down barriers between social groups and in classrooms and things like that. But then, that's the thing, is like, what's the follow up to it? And you touched upon this, like, yes, we want to, train people to do this, but we also want to leave them some spaces and opportunities to continue to do it, because it's great. We brought you here. We can play pickleball, but now where are you going to play? And I think that's the biggest thing, is getting the infrastructure to catch up to the demand.
That's right. And that's this challenge for a lot of people. That's why, like, during COVID, we painted 30 courts in people's driveways. And that was, was a sustainability vertical for us. We charged a little bit of money to do that, so we could put that back in. And then we sold nets and paddles and balls as a kit during COVID. So, but the thing that you say that I think is really interesting, and that I think why this has worked so well with the game of pickleball, is is the give back aspect of pickleball. You know, if you teach one person, just like my friend who drugged me down to the court,
right?
That one person's going to drag 3 people out to teach them how to play, so they have somebody to play with, and then those people are going to drag their own 5 more people out there to learn. So the fact that anybody can come in and kind of be an expert and teach someone else how to do it is hard. That's hard to find in a physical activity that has so many aspects of health, the physical health, the emotional health, the mental health, the social health, all of that is in pickleball. And so to me, it's just like this miracle game that
I agree. I know. It's like a lightning bolt. All of a sudden, it's been around, but all of a sudden it just showed up in our consciousness during really arguably the worst thing that happened globally in the last 100 years. So
that's right.
Are you a pickleball enthusiast over the age of 50? Check out Sleeve's Senior Pickleball Report, a YouTube channel dedicated to providing the latest news and updates on the sport. Get the scoop on the newest trends, the latest equipment, and the best strategies for success. Make sure you're on top of the game and stay informed with the Senior Pickleball Report.
Hey there! Are you looking for news that is informative, insightful, and inspiring? Look no further than STM Daily News, the news source you can use this moment. Our website, podcast, and newsletter cover all the news that you need to know in everyday life, minus all the hard news, doom and gloom, partisan politics, and sensationalism. With STM Daily News, you can be sure that you'll learn something new and useful by the time you're finished reading, watching, or hearing our articles and stories. So don't miss out. Check out STM Daily News today.
Yeah. And during COVID, it was just, we couldn't teach in the schools and we couldn't go to the community centers to do our programming, but we got super creative about the way we could. So if somebody who can afford to take a lesson from us or take a clinic from us or buy a paddle from us and buy a COVID kit is what we called a net and 4 paddles and 3 balls.
Yeah.
If they can afford to do that, then that money all goes back into Pickle Mania. So they're getting something out of it.
Right.
But they're also contributing to somebody else getting something out of it, who's then contributing to somebody else getting something out of it. Yeah. And the trickle down is really real. And so it's just been, like I said, it's been it's been very interesting. I have learned so much. There have been so many people that have come, my way that I know that I'm like, well, I was meant to be here for that conversation.
Right.
Chris Cargis, when you interviewed her, she's on my NPL team. And then, she got to you and then I stopped you in the crowd of people at the tournament.
Yeah.
Said, I want to, so it's just the people in pickleball that really love the sport. They value that life-changing joy that it can bring. And so the goal would be for us to just really continue to grow this organization. I mean, we really, it's a nonprofit. It's challenging. There's no doubt. And fundraising.
Sure.
But we know now I don't get looked at like I have 3 heads. People come from schools and say, we want pickleball in our school. Will you come help? That didn't happen 3 years ago. It was me calling and I got this weird thing for you, but you're going to like it. I promise.
That's okay. So fantastic. And again, we'll have links in the description for Pickle Mania. And there's a get involved page on there as well. So
please reach out to us. And we also we're going to Greenville, Mississippi on Saturday to teach some beginner clinics and whatever those people paid us to learn how to play pickleball, we'll go back to Pickle Mania. And then one day we'll continue to go back there and try to give back. So if you have, you're starting a program and you want to bring somebody in, if you have an interest, PPR has been a great partner too, as far as getting people learning how to really, how to teach the game. I appreciate anybody and everybody who tries because it's not easy. But there's a way to engage with us on a lot of different levels. So if you have an interest, please reach out. We'd love to help you however we can.
And for folks listening out there, what you've done is you've actually shown some creativity and innovation. Is you don't need a lot of space. So if there is a driveway, if there is a basketball court that's not being used that day, and you have some painter's tape and you can lay down lines and have a temporary net and some paddles, you don't need a state-of-the-art facility to do this, which you can do it in a garage. I mean, I put a half court in my parents' basement. It's full length, but it's half the width. And we go down there and we play pickleball, and you don't even need a full court.
Even if you just have the non-volley zone, even if my garage is
just the kitchen, right?
Non-volley zone. And we just, and we're still, people are calling us a lot still to paint lines. We painted them in all the private clubs here, and now they're all getting dedicated courts. We painted them in driveways. We painted them in parking lots. We've painted them and we've done them in gyms at different locations at churches and stuff. So you don't have to hire some like fancy company to do that either. Like there's a way to, I mean, anybody can do it, but if you want help with that, or you need advice on it or anything, I love collaboration. I think that it makes sense not to reinvent the wheel here. And, and so we are getting more and more calls like that from around the country. And so if you have an interest in making a donation for us to help you with something, bring it. We're ready.
How exciting.
We're not out playing, which is the other part of this that we love. Right.
Well, speaking of playing, if somebody would have told you, when you were told you were done with tennis, that in a few years you would be playing in a 50+ senior pro league.
No way.
I mean, if you say that out loud sometimes, that's insane sounding. Like there is a league out there for people our age, at a professional level, at very high level, by the way, because I went to the Kansas City event, and you can watch it on YouTube, and it's streamed, and every match is streamed, which, by the way, no other tour is doing except this tour. But to see it in person at a Chicken and Pickle where it's up close, the level of play is insane. It's so good and it's so competitive. But at the end of the day, y'all are celebrating pickleball. And I can just tell there's this gratefulness. I keep saying this in every interview, but everybody is just so grateful for the opportunity to, one, compete against their peers, and two, to be treated like professionals. So talk about the NPL experience, getting drafted and that whole bit.
And I played the combine.
You did play the combine. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
So have been a part of the very first combine ever.
That's historic.
For 50+ athletes.
In any sport.
Really cool. In any sport. I mean, so cool, and so grateful to Beth and Rick and Julie and all the people behind NPL. I didn't know whether I'd get drafted or not. I didn't care. I was going because I wanted to support this idea. And two, anytime I know I can go and be with other women playing pickleball or be with other high level players from anywhere, it's just such a treat. So I knew if I came out of it I would come out of it with new friends. I knew that for sure.
For sure.
And then I was lucky enough to get drafted by the Austin Ignite team. And it has, and a big thing that one of the things that really drew me to this was I loved playing on a college team. I loved playing on my high school.
Yeah, the team aspect.
Yes. And I was like, I'm kind of over myself. Like I've been playing tournaments now for 3 years, and I've had a wonderful time, and I will continue to support the tour and the APP and the PPA and all the local tournaments. But I was really, really excited about the team atmosphere, and it has surpassed any expectations that I had. We had, we had an 80s party. I still have my nails. I
know. I noticed the nails.
Party.
Oh, you guys, you killed it. You could tell where our era was the 80s because the outfits were on point.
So we sang "Hit Me With Your Best Shot" by Pat Vintage Party. We thought that was pretty appropriate. So it has, the creativity and the amount of thought that's been put into this league from the combine all the way to throughout. We've had 3 of the 5 events that lead up to the championships.
Right.
And they'll be in Wichita starting tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm not participating this weekend, but I'll be in San Antonio for the next one. But I have great new friends. I have met all the other teams, like everyone wants to win, but there's so much camaraderie between the teams. Like,
Yeah.
we're all like, oh dang, I have to play you. Like I was
right.
I was dancing and playing trivia with you last night. Now I have to play against you. It's been an amazing experience. And the pickleball has been, like you said, is fantastic. I've gotten a lot better.
I'm sure you find out what your holes in your game are playing at that level all the time.
And going back and watching the matches is such a nice perk too, because they're all there. But the people, I would highly encourage anybody who's on the fence. Like a lot of people this year were kind of like, we don't know what it's all about.
Right.
I would highly encourage people. It's like pickleball that I discovered at that first US Open. NPL is for real. And it's first class.
Yeah. You can tell it's first class. I mean, I was only there 3 hours that day and I was nursing a bad back and I was like, but I forgot all about my back pain because everybody was just so supportive of one another. And, and then, a team breaker comes and it's like a little stadium happens. Everybody surrounds the court. You're out there for 2 points and there's a lot of pressure to get those 2 points. You only get win by 1. I'm like, this is intense. Like this is and like I said, I keep saying the level of ball was so good and the points were so long that I was like, man, I got to get back home and start hitting some balls again.
That's right. That we played and won 2 team breakers.
That's why you're in first
in Grand Prairie last weekend or 2 weekends ago, whenever that was, a few weekends ago. And I mean, I was like, that was terrifying. It was so fun. But like you could be 2 girls against 2 guys,
right?
Against and the way that creativity behind that is really interesting too. And so much fun. And of course, everybody feels like they've contributed to even just to getting to a team breaker. Your team has to be so proud, but it is a full team effort out there. And whether you're in the lineup or not, you're cheering and coaching. You can go out on the court during the timeouts and it's just fun. We all have matching outfits and the
outfits, by the way, on every team, they're on point too. They're really looking good and they've developed over the season here. But last league stop, I was like, man, all these jerseys look really good now.
Blue Sky is a new company. The woman that owns Blue Sky, she's done a great job with outfitting everybody. Our team has a relationship with Block UV, who I've had a long time relationship with, and they're an awesome company. They're helping us, and more sponsors we can get out there, and the more support we have for this, the longer and the better this league will just continue to be. And
let's talk about that, because obviously it's year one. You learn a lot of things as a player, but not only that, as an owner and as somebody who founded the league, and it does all the things behind the scenes. What are your hopes for what's coming down maybe the next few years with the league? Like, what would you like to see happen?
New paddle company, Pickle, PCKL, great paddle line, great price points. Anything you want, from starter paddle to intermediate to a pro series high level paddle. Check them out. Get 15% off using my discount code. Pickle, it's the future.
Are you looking to stay up to date on the latest pickleball news and tips? Look no further than the Sleeves Senior Pickleball Report newsletter. Get the scoop on the sport, learn how to stay healthy while playing, and find out about upcoming tournaments. Subscribe now to get all the pickleball info you need.
I mean, I think that I think the goal is to add 6 more teams maybe next year. That's a number I heard. I don't know if that's still.
I've heard that as well, from several people.
The people I've talked to that I've mentioned it to that I think might be interested in ownership have been very receptive. I just think the sky is just the opportunities are endless. I mean, I'd love to see like more sponsorship support. I will say, you were there, it's crowded. There are a lot of people there. If you want to get your name out and you want to have an opportunity, Julian Coffey has been one of them, and they've been great. The world of pickleball, the people in the world of pickleball are realizing this as well, that there's a company out there, a healthcare company or somebody who really supports the seniors. And I think in their business, and I think they would be very smart to get involved.
I would agree.
Know where this is going, but up. I have tons of friends who didn't do it this year who have already told me, I really want to be involved next year. What do I do? How do I sign up? I see it. I see it growing a lot, and I see, I just see it morphing too into other things that the younger groups are going to end up wanting to do. And I think that'll be a model for lots of different.
Oh, I agree.
MLP kind of started that, obviously, but I just, who knows where this is going to take us. But again, I want to be a part of it. And I said that about football from the first time I walked out there, and from the minute I stepped into the combine, I knew I wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I think y'all have an advantage over some of the, what I would call open pro leagues and tours, is that you have a wealth of life knowledge and professional knowledge that is on demand. Like you can tap into all these people that have all these diverse backgrounds and have all these ideas. And you don't have to, like you mentioned earlier, reinvent the wheel for certain things, because people may have an expertise in marketing or apparel or whatever it happens to be. Whereas in other venues and other leagues, you're kind of depending on the ownership of the league, and you're kind of at their leisure and at their demand. And this is a much more cooperative feeling to me, that I think everybody's on board and everybody is being treated fairly and equally. And I don't think you can say that about what's going on necessarily at the pro level and other places. They're kind of going through more growing pains. And I think part of that is you have a wealth of knowledge that you've lived life, and you know what you want, and you've learned from other tours that you've played on. Right.
And this group wants to see everyone succeed.
Right.
I mean, that's the other part. Like, you come across people in life that don't want other people to succeed. They don't want to share, or they,
right.
I mean, this group they're happy, genuinely happy for everyone, because everyone's happy because they're all playing pickleball and they're grateful for that opportunity. But they also, I mean, there's a group that started a little kind of a prayer group from NPL, that if you wanted to participate, you could. And my dad was just diagnosed with cancer recently, and they're all now all these people are praying for him and me. And I don't know what anybody believes or not, but I believe that the more people you have that have positive vibes coming your way, the more successful and healthy and everything you will be. And so having all the people on all 6 of those teams behind me and I'm going through, whether it's if you're going through something professionally or personally, or that's hard to find. I mean, you can find that in other areas of your community, but when you're out playing a sport and being competitive, but you feel that kind of love, that's unusual and rare. And that speaks to our sport. And I always say, like, anybody I teach, please continue to promote the culture and the environment that we've all worked hard to establish in pickleball.
Yes.
And that it is about community, and it is about health and happiness and well-being. And I win. But I'm also, I tell people all the time, the only thing that's sore on my body after pickleball is my face. I'm smiling the entire time, even when I'm getting killed. And
I know.
Like, so I appreciate that about this league so much.
Absolutely. And I mean, y'all are the elder statesmen and women of this sport. So, and I think that's a great example, because I mentioned this in every interview. If you follow, the Champions Tour folks, the senior pros, and you follow their social media, they compete hard, but at the end of the day, they're hanging out, they're supporting one another. And you can just feel that there is this community. And I think NPL has expanded that, because it's just brought more and more people into the fold. And as teams expand and the league expands, it just seems to me that that's just this big positive snowball rolling. And things like Pickle Mania, pick up even more momentum, because it's part of that community and it grows from there too. And there's all these spinoffs like the prayer group and all those things. So I think you hit it on the nose earlier when the possibilities seem to be endless in this, what this silly little wiffle ball game has brought us.
I know. the sky's the limit, y'all. I mean,
Yeah.
we just got to continue to be creative and and thank you for what you do. I mean, you're focused on the seniors and you're focused on the positive and always being, such an advocate of the sport. It's really, it's the characters and the people in pickleball.
Yeah.
And I told my son this yesterday, looking at colleges, like you can go anywhere and be happy. To me, the biggest part is the people and the people in pickleball, the relationships you establish on your team and in your sport or in your business or in your whatever, that's what you take with you.
Right.
And that's the only thing that's going to be there when it's all said and done. So, to me, I hope that I can continue to be a part of this on a lot of multiple different levels for a long time to come. Who knows? I mean, that's what I think. It's very exciting. What are we going to do?
Who knows? Who knows where this is going? I do know that I like where it's going and I'm excited to see where it's going. So let's talk when we get you out of here about some of the folks that have helped you along the way, sponsorships, whomever. So give a shout out to the folks that have really carried you.
So we could not have done this alone, obviously. And and one thing I'll say real quick about what we were just talking about just for a second is that I do believe that some of these children that we're teaching in these under-resourced communities where we do the majority of our Pickleball with Purpose work, I think they'll pay their way to college one day through pickleball. If I have my say, I'd love for us to really think about the opportunities that we're giving these children through this sport, because we're already seeing it. I mean, on our college campus tour yesterday with my son, the kid giving the tour talked about, this is where we play pickleball. And I was like, wait, what'd you say? What'd you say? So who knows, right? So starting out, we've had a lot of relationships that have helped Pickle Mania, and we are so grateful. And all of those are represented on our website. We sell products from our partners like Pro XR is our current paddle sponsor. And so whatever we pay for a paddle and you pay for a paddle, the difference is going to go to Pickle Mania. So we have a relationship with Lucky and Love. We have a new relationship with Diadora Sneakers. We have a relationship with Jigsaw Health. We have a relationship with Medicinal Leaf CBD. We have partnerships that we could not have done what we've done without them, because we see these sustainability verticals. Being able to teach is one, but being able to provide pickleball apparel, equipment. Pickleball Central has been a wonderful partner to us. Nice. So I always said, I hope it means something to them too, because they have a partner in the community that when someone buys something from us, I hope it makes them feel good, even better than it would if they bought it from Amazon or somewhere, because they are giving back on some level. And so the NPL is very supportive. My Austin Ignite has been very supportive of Pickle Mania. We're currently renovating a movie theater here in Memphis, thanks to an investor who approached us, interested in helping with the facilities aspect, because we need that in Memphis. And so we'll be pursuing that project here in the not too distant future. And that's incredibly exciting. So there's absolutely, I say, there is no way that this might have been one person's idea, but this has been, my board, the board of Pickle Mania, is incredible. Some play pickleball, some don't. Some didn't even know what pickleball was, but they pants on me and believed in the idea. And I'm so grateful for that. So all of our partners, we really try to give the shout out. And if you look on the picklemania.org website, Tervis Tumbler, where there are all kinds of things there that to us are meaningful, that if you support that company, then in some way you're supporting us as well. So
and the link's below, folks. So take a time to look at it and go through it, because there's a lot of good information there. And again, a way to get involved.
Yeah. And sign up to get our emails. We do not send a whole lot of emails, because there's,
I just did. I just signed up.
We have one assistant. So they're just two, but we do, when we do send stuff, we just are so grateful for anybody who's in the database and something might resonate. You might want a program, or you might just want to have us come visit, which we'd love to do.
Well, hey, thanks for your time, Taylor.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you. I'll be in Arizona for the championship, and we'll catch up again. And best of luck. Hey, you're leading a little bit of pressure on Austin Ignite here. You know, everybody's on your heels, and
I know.
but you seem to be the queens. You seem to be the kings and queens.
From YouTube this weekend. I'll be here. Go Austin Ignite. Good luck.
You've mastered the team breaker for sure. So whatever secret sauce y'all have going there, I think folks are going to want a piece of it. I talked to Amy Yarborough yesterday. She's like, there are people going to want to know how we do our team breaker.
It's all very hush hush.
Hope you enjoyed our conversation with Taylor. Check out the links in the description. Check out Pickle Mania, folks. Great organization. Get involved outside of just playing pickleball. All right. And hey, let's pickle. Hey, if you're looking for very, very comfortable court shoes, in fact, the most comfortable court shoes I've ever worn, and I've worn a lot of them over the years playing different sports, try Fitville. We have a link in the description that gets you $20 off your purchase.